Okay, this is Christina again. You can find me at christinastation918.com. You can find my podcast there called Speaking to the CIA. You can also find me on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify. Again, my username on Spotify is Scorpio71. You can find my playlist, or you can find my podcast there. I updated my podcast. It's so weird, and I don't know how to fix it, but it's there. It's working. But anyway, I updated my podcast to get all the newest recordings, and then Gene tried to hack me again, so I'm a couple recordings behind. But when I get time, I'll figure out how to get all these new recent ones onto it. But anyway, I had to create the podcast again, but it's not associated under my Scorpio 71. So I had to create the podcast under my Scorpio 71 and then associate to my developer Scorpio 71 and then associate it to my Scorpio 71 user account, add it as a playlist. But anyway, you can just go to type in podcast in Spotify and you're going to find Speaking to the CIA. You're going to find my podcast. But anyway, okay, so I want to continue on. This is a continuation still. And then after this recording, I will go over crimes that Gene Roberts and her Manson occult committed this week. I'll decode them and get that uploaded. So the CIA has all the information they need, which you are who I'm making reports to. So anyway, so this is a continuation of O.J. Simpson. Okay. So O.J. Simpson. So somebody said to me, take a closer look at Kato Kaelin, which I can't even take a closer look at Kato Kaelin. No offense, Kato Kaelin, I don't know you. But when I see you, all I think of is Gene Roberts and Charles Manson occult. But anyway, it's not even funny, but I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, so somebody said take a closer look at Kato Kaelin. So, and then after I decoded all this, I got my notes in my phone, I'm getting ready to go over it. I was told that people are going to take a closer look at Kato Kaelin. So anyway, however that works out to be, but again, Gene Roberts is your perp. So you need to be arresting her. She is your lead perp. So I don't know if Kato Kaelin's a perp or not, but you want to take a look at him. Okay, so, all right, so Kato Kaelin. Okay, so note, alien is in his name. Note cat is in his name. Okay, so when I was going over Kato Kaelin looks a lot like, last time I saw him, which was when all this was going down, looks a lot like this little guy, when I was in high school. I'm sorry, people are controlling my speech. They're trying to make me sound like I'm older because they're trying to pretend that I'm Gene. And you can tell by the way that they control my speech, you can tell that Gene is Mrs. Robinson, this little guy. Again, she pretends to be me and then she pushes away from herself. So again, Gene Roberts is telling on herself by trying to control my speech. So anyway, when I was in high school, I had a crush on this guy. It was my senior year. It was before I dated Mario. And his name was Andrew. And you're see all podcasts on Andrew. Okay. So anyway, so Andrew, she stalked ever living hell out of him too, and used him as a theme to commit all holy hell and mayhem, all kinds of terrorism, and my little freaking crush exchange with him or whatever. So anyway, he looks like Andrew. Okay. So anyway, a part of this was, when Andrew and I quit talking, we were writing notes back and forth to each other, and then we quit talking, and I was a senior in high school as a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to burn all his notes. So this is like a big deal. I'm like, I'm going to set all his notes on fire. So anyway, I'm like, oh God, here we go again. So everything means something in my life. So I'm like, is there fire involved in the O.J. Simpson case? So, because of Kato Kaelin. All right, so I go look up the O.J. Simpson case again, and I said, was there fire associated with the murder of Nicole Brown Smith, O.J. Simpson's trial? And there is fire involved. So there was a firefighter selected on the jury who was angry because he was wrongfully accused of committing arson in Malibu, killing 3 people. Okay, so what you want to do is obviously go back to that firefighter and go over his case. And I bet you can decode it. I bet you Gene Roberts committed the crime because Gene Roberts and her people are pyros. Obviously so. Gene Roberts did the World Trade Center attack. She did the Oklahoma City bombing. She has set massive, massive, massive fires everywhere. I've decoded several of them. The last fire she set was in Los Angeles. And that's when I sent my dad a text and trying to tell him her and her occult set that fire. And he basically was like responding to me in like opposites. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So opposite people were talking in opposites already back then. So anyway, she went and got all her people and tried to do this spin and then tried to like blame ISIS. And then they tried to blame ISIS. They tried to blame cartel, which they did not get far with that at all. They did not do that. Gene Roberts did it in her Manson occult. And ISIS didn't do it either. ISIS had committed a terror attack in Louisiana at the same time, and I decoded that. Gene Roberts committed that crime also. Gene Roberts poses, I told you, as ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas, and also Houthi. So you're going to see all my podcasts on that. I turned her in for it. So anyway, so you're going to want to go over that firefighter's case because obviously she committed that crime too. Also, there was a fire at a North Hollywood sushi restaurant. So you're going to want to go over that fire also. And I bet you Gene Roberts committed that crime. So notice the word North. That's going to be obviously in Oliver North reference, 1979. It's also going to be a T-Woz, the Wizard of Oz reference. And then the sushi, okay, note the word she in it. Gene loves pronouns, okay, and the word Sue, okay. So again, you can tell Gene Roberts committed that crime. And she's always got someone to blame because she'll pick apart every syllable, every letter, every word, and like put this here and put this here and put this here and go spread this lie here and go spread this lie there. Gene Roberts and her Manson occult committed that crime. And remember what Gene Roberts said to me in an underhanded tone when I lived in Slidell, when I was living with my dad before I got my apartment the last time. She said, people are so afraid of getting sued, real snide, because she's got some kind of fraud contract agreement with I don't know who, that she can't be sued for committing mass atrocities against mankind. BS. So anyway, also at the same time was the Palisades fire. Okay, so Palisades. Okay, so inside Palisades is Pegasus. Pegasus would go to, I believe, Pennzoil, okay? She iced a picture into my dad. She controls everything. Remember I told you she likes to set the scene, okay? Just like she did when she did 9/11, when she set the scene of the classroom. And she does that by using ice, okay? So people are just living lives and they don't realize that Jean has used ice on people to get objects into buildings or into anything anywhere that she uses to tell lies with to her people, okay? So anyway, he had this one picture, it was like a print of a painting, and it was of a lily. It was a giant picture of like a pond with lily pads all over it, okay? And inside the picture, I could see the Pegasus logo from Pennzoil. And she literally was like forcing my eyes to focus on it, to see it. And she was literally like bragging about it, but I didn't even know what it meant. Like I was at the very beginning of decoding everything. So anyway, and then, Peg, and then, Gus, and then, USA, and then there's probably all the history behind Pegasus itself. And then also the fire in Los Angeles, when I decoded the fire in Los Angeles, the ASCII code, I was being shown, look what Jean did. And it was when I was watching it live on TV, people were communicating with me in mental telepathy, and they were also communicating to the United States, the government who was on. They were pointing out using the question mark ASCII. They were saying pregunte. Okay, so pregunte means question in Spanish, but it sounds like pregnant. So that means Charles Manson, Sharon Tate. She killed Sharon Tate. Okay, so pregunte also fits in that also. So she started that fire. So inside Death to Pigs, that even says, let me think of how it goes. Oh, Death to Pigs, if you change the I to the RE, it says pregnant. So it's preg. So anyway, okay, so going on, so if I do the cross reduction between Palisades and Pegasus is DLIAUG, okay? Then it's DLREAUG. Then inside that is AIW, Alice in Wonderland. Then Iliad is in it, and then Island is in it, and Gilligan is in it, then Catalina Islands is in it, then Dial is in it, and then CL code on Dial, and then Doug is in it, and then Deluge is in it, and CL code on Deluge, then August is in it, then Lion is in it, then Doctor's Orders are in it, CL code August, CL code Lion, CL code Doctor's Orders, Dealer is in it, and Dungeon is in it. So that is the end of this recording.